Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. Welcome back to an exciting episode of eSports News. Hope you guys all enjoy. As always, let's get right into it. And first off today, guys, in eSports News is going to be very heavy for League of Legends. As many of you guys know, we had the World's Groups 2016 announced just a couple days ago, so I will be giving all of you guys my predictions. Now, kind of cool because my amateurness is actually going to offer some different insight for all of you guys, so I wouldn't take my advice to heart. But anyway, before that, guys, we have a very kind of disheartening story here. First off, involving Hong Kong eSports and former League of Legends player, or I guess kind of current, he goes by the name of Toyz. If you guys have heard about him, a very prominent player back in 2015. He was a member for Flash Wolves. Flash Wolves obviously qualified for this year's Worlds as well. Good luck to them. But he also played for Hong Kong eSports and their team as well. Now, originally, back in 2015, guys, he was going to leave the organization and said he had no problem doing so. He consulted management and decided to leave the team and had no issues whatsoever. Then a little while after that, he was actually accused of some kind of criminal activity over there, and we were not sure that if Hong Kong eSports accused him of this, but he was alleged of some kind of criminal activity, and then eventually he was actually found innocent of that criminal activity. Now, while all this was going on, eventually Hong Kong eSports was not letting him go. Now, he first off said he had no problem leaving, but eventually management never actually let go of the rights in his contract. It would not let him out of that contract. Also, on top of this, we also had Hong Kong eSports management not only once, not only twice, but apparently and allegedly 4 times increasing the payment that Toyz would actually have to pay them to actually relieve him of his own contract. So kind of obviously a very cruel thing to do there, and somewhat could not be legal in that sense. But even more than this, guys, apparently has finally come back. Now finally in 2016, he decided to stop having contact with Hong Kong eSports directly and finally decided to take it to the courts. Only problem is here, guys, this is a League of Legends player who could not play all of 2015 or a majority of it, and especially 2016 while all this was going on. He had no team. He couldn't leave. He was technically under contract while going to court, several times to deal with this issue. And so, of course, he had to reach out to the community in not only the Chinese scene or the Asian scene, but all over, asking for donations and some kind of funding to actually not only pay for, of course, going to court every day, but also to sustain his own living, because he couldn't obviously play as a professional player or pay those bills. So again, this guy went through an excruciating amount of pain just to finally get it. Apparently, as of a few days ago, he has finally been released by Hong Kong eSports. Even more importantly, he's apparently joining Riot Games, which is very curious as well, because they announced a new roster not too long ago, and their roster is currently full. But apparently Toyz is now officially out of Hong Kong eSports and now part of Riot Games. So congrats to him. Kind of just goes to show you guys the cruelty involved in esports right now and some organizations and how just stubborn they can really be. Now, I know many of you guys have probably seen already world predictions by a lot of analysts out there, a lot of smarter people than me, but I want to offer my amateur opinion because I have a bias. Of course, it's going to be North American, but not many people out there are going to make very bold decisions throughout these group stages, which really anything can happen. I think especially this year in League of Legends Worlds, going to be like across all esports, it's going to get more and more competitive and not so monopolized by 1 or 2 countries like you would expect from China or Korea. So I'm going to have my North American bias here, guys. I truly think this is the year for a potential North American team to at least make it to the semifinals. I'm not going to say they're going to be the first year to actually win it. The first year of all these worlds so far, a North American team has yet to win it. I'm not going to say this is that year, but I do want to say Group A, guys, I'm going to go with my Korean favorites, ROX Tigers. Many of you guys know the favorites overall, besides probably SK Telecom out of that Korean region. I'm also going to go with CLG. You guys are going to notice my North American bias throughout all of this. I think CLG being on that number 2 North American qualifying seed, because I'm going to choose Cloud9 later on, I have to choose CLG as well. So for Group A, guys, ROX Tigers, a Korean team, and CLG out of North America for Group A. Out of Group B, guys, no surprise, the defending champions, also from Korea, SK Telecom. I don't think many people are probably doubting this team to actually get out of this group, but surprise, surprise, my first very big upset here, guys. Like I chose CLG, that number 2 American qualifier for Group A, I also want to choose Cloud9, the number 3 North American qualifier. I loved how they performed against Immortals in that Worlds qualifier. They beat them 3-1 in that best of 5 series. I think Cloud9 is going to be your upset of the group right here. Now, Group C, a little harder to predict for me, guys. Besides Edward Gaming, I want to actually choose Edward Gaming alongside H2K. I really think Edward Gaming, being that Chinese favorite team, has a really good chance of making it out of the group. Besides them, though, I think the really big group is up for grabs. I think H2K makes it out of this group, though. Now, also for Group D, I do want to choose Royal, a very underrated Chinese team, guys. I think they'll actually have a really good chance of possibly coming out of the group number 1 seed, but also, of course, again, coming back to the North American bias, I'm going with TSM. I think Samsung kind of had a fluke in qualifying, so I'm going to go with TSM, guys. Of course, if I'm going to pick the number 2 and number 3 North American seeds, why not pick the number 1 and 1 as well? So TSM and Royal, Edward Gaming and H2K, SK Telecom and Cloud9, and CLG and Korean ROX, the Tigers over there. I do think, yes, guys, I really do think all 3 North American teams teams are making it out of group stages and eventually going on to semifinals. Who do I think is going to win it all? Probably SK. I'm not really sure though. Not going to make a prediction right now, guys. After group stage, I'll come back with another video about predictions for League of Legends Worlds 2016. And for any of you guys who play Riot Games in general, or especially League of Legends very, very often, if you guys know the founders of League of Legends, who are Brandon Beck and Mark Merrill, they actually came out with an article just yesterday announcing that yes, League of Legends has been around for nearly 10 years now and has yet to make any big changes or come out with a separate game. But be aware, guys, that change should not be coming anytime soon, which would reassure a lot of you guys, especially because all this drama has come out very recently with prize pools and, you know, Riot paying these teams and the ability to actually have an LCS team actually compete in League of Legends and make money and actually retain these players, and how almost impossible it is. But besides all that drama, guys, apparently League of Legends really having no desire so far to come out with a new game, which is probably really reassuring to all of you guys, especially if they probably announced this anyway. It would probably only result in downturn of player base and whatever it may be. But it has also been leaked, guys, about a possible League of Legends the next game for League of Legends not being an actual PC game, but potentially a board game not released by Riot themselves. But look out for that, guys, in the future. League of Legends, no updates so far, but potentially in the future. And now that we're done with League of Legends news, guys, moving on to some quick Dota 2 news. We now have the Team Empire completing their 4-man roster, who will now have new members Aloha, Dance, and G. They'll be joining both Ghostic and Kinger. Now, Aloha did play for Empire back in 2014 and actually played all the way up until March of this year with that same team, left for a short amount of time, and he is back. But G is somewhat of a rare case, as if you guys do not know, he's a mid laner from the Commonwealth. Yes, the CIS region, who has not produced a top-tier mid laner in a long time. So very excited, guys, about this new Team Empire for Dota 2. If they actually can stand a chance in the next international, they have a lot of time until then, but really curious to see how this new CIS team and this new roster in general does for the team of Team Empire, as they have now announced their new 4-man roster. And in some more Dota 2 news, guys, we have an announcement of another new roster. That's Execration, who have announced their newest roster, who will include Villafuerte, a member who's going to return to the team, and also 3 new members who go by the names of DJ, Gabby, and their 4th member, Rapey. Now, I'm not sure if that's actually how it's pronounced, Rapey, but a very kind of interesting name to have there. If you guys didn't know about Execration before, in this year's International, they were one of those 4 wildcard teams, actually won their opening match against Complexity Gaming, then went on to lose to Escape Gaming, and actually never made it to the main stage of this year's International, but they did compete, so quite an accomplishment, especially now, because with these new 3 members, guys, they are the only all-Filipino roster in all of Dota 2. So congrats to them. They'll be competing as the only Philippines roster in this year and hopefully have some success in the near future. As always, guys, that's going to do it for today's episode of eSports News. Please stay tuned in the next 2 days, guys. We have a lot of Call of Duty, a lot of Halo, a lot of League of Legends news coming out sometime soon for all of you guys. I'm sorry I could not cover it all today. Just a very busy day here at college. Hope you guys all enjoyed today's League of Legends and Dota 2 news. Again, stay tuned for the next couple days, guys. Got a lot of good stories coming out for all of you. As always, hope you guys all enjoyed. My name is Jake. Remember, I like you. I'll see you guys all next time. Remember, I like you. Goodbye. And very last of today's League of Legends news, guys, you guys should be very, very happy if you're a League of Legends player, you know, frantically. Where do these words come from? Oh, man. Oh, man. Anyone speak French? I'm trying to learn French because apparently girls like it. And I don't know. And now that we're done with League of Legends news, guys, moving on to some quick Dota 2 news. We do have Team Empire completing their 5-man roster with new players Aloha, Dance, and G. They'll be joining both Ghostic and Kinger to actually finish up that roster. Now, Aloha did play for Empire back in 2014. Dota 2 only has 4 players, Jake. That was 5 players. Frick.